In the heart of the old forest, where the trees twist and murmur secrets older than any memory, there lives a being whose laughter is as ancient as the earth itself. Tom Bombadil, a figure unlike any other in Middle-earth, whose power seems untouched by shadow, whose presence defies ambition, and whose songs can sway the wilds themselves. When Frodo Baggins and his companions first encounter him, the world outside, even the threat of Sauron, feels distant, almost irrelevant. Here is a man who is immune to the corrupting touch of the One Ring, a man who strides through the deepest darkness with a carefree step, rescuing hobbits from the clutches of Old Man Willow, speaking in rhymes that sound like the music of the world itself. Yet, despite his undeniable power, Tom is a mystery, an enigma that Tolkien never fully explains. Is he a Maia, a Vala, the embodiment of Arda, or something entirely beyond the comprehension of mortals and immortals alike? His story, though brief in the grand sweep of the Lord of the Rings, challenges the very definitions of power, responsibility, and freedom. Today, we will wander the old forest with him, tracing his songs, his laughter, and the questions he leaves in his wake. Tom Bombadil appears in the Fellowship's journey almost as a footnote, yet his impact resonates far beyond his brief chapters. Tolkien first introduced him in The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, a collection of poems predating the novels, suggesting that he existed in Tolkien's imagination long before the War of the Ring. He is not bound by the politics of Middle-earth, nor does he concern himself with the rise and fall of kingdoms. When the hobbits meet him, Tom is introduced in the Old Forest, a man who wears bright blue and yellow, whose boots and beard glint in sunlight, who moves as if dancing to a tune only he can hear. His laughter rings with joy, yet with a depth that hints at knowledge far older than the eldest elves. It is this duality, the playful and the ancient, that makes him so compelling and so alien. Unlike Gandalf, who serves as a guide, or Aragorn, who claims a throne, Tom has no ambition, no desire to change the course of the war. He exists for the sake of existence itself. The ring, a tool that corrupts the hearts of kings and wizards alike, holds no sway over him. Frodo slips it onto his finger, yet Tom can see him and chuckles, unafraid. In this, he embodies a radical idea that true power is not domination, but harmony. Tolkien himself never defined Bombadil. In letters he stated, "Some things have to remain unexplained." Yet from this ambiguity springs an endless cascade of theories. Scholars and fans have speculated that Tom might be 1. A Maia, like Gandalf or Sauron, an immortal spirit, yet strangely disconnected from the councils of the Valar. 2. A Vala, perhaps Yavanna or Aule in human form, embodying the natural world. 3. The spirit of Arda itself, a living fragment of the first music, untouched by evil. 4. A manifestation beyond Eru's plan, intentionally left mysterious to provoke wonder. His song is more than charm, it is power. When he sings, Old Man Willow releases the hobbits. He commands rivers, trees, and animals without force. His authority is inherent, not enforced. This contrasts sharply with characters like Gandalf, whose power is bound by the rules of the Valar, or Voldemort in Harry Potter, whose desire for control leads to corruption. Bombadil's detachment from the struggle for power mirrors the philosophy of some of the greatest sages in myth and fiction: the wise figure who resists ambition, the elemental being whose value lies in balance, not conquest. In Harry Potter, you could compare him to the wandless, untethered magic of figures like Dumbledore in his youth, powerful, unbound, and uncorrupted. Tom Bombadil's power is subtle yet absolute. He is immune to the One Ring, seeing Frodo clearly when he wears it, and himself vanishing not at all when he slips it on. What corrupts wizards, elves, and men alike holds no sway over him. But this immunity comes with indifference. Tom has no desire to keep, wield, or destroy the ring. This sparks the familiar question: why not send him to Mordor to end the struggle at once? Tolkien answers in the Council of Elrond. Tom would not care for such a task. He would lose it, forget it, or dismiss it as unimportant. His nature is not conquest, but harmony within his own borders. In contrast, Dumbledore in Harry Potter wields great power, but is restrained by responsibility. Voldemort and Sauron seek dominion without limit. Gandalf acts reluctantly, but still acts. Tom, however, is power without ambition. He commands his land absolutely, yet seeks nothing beyond it. Thematically, Bombadil embodies freedom. Freedom from fear, corruption, and the hunger for control. His presence forces us to question whether true power must always intervene in worldly affairs. For Tom, strength lies in refusing the struggle altogether. At the Council of Elrond, the idea of giving the ring to Tom Bombadil is briefly raised and just as swiftly dismissed. The reasoning is crucial. Yes, Bombadil is immune to the ring's corruption. Yes, he could keep it hidden longer than any elf, dwarf, or man, but he would not care for it. Gandalf explains that Tom would likely misplace it or ignore it entirely because such burdens mean nothing to him. This is Tolkien's paradox. Bombadil possesses power beyond comprehension, yet no will to use it in the affairs of others. He is a guardian of the old forest, not a champion of Middle-earth. He preserves, but he does not intervene. Entrusting him with the ring would be like hiding it in nature itself, safe for a time, but doomed to be swept aside when the greater tide of war comes. And so, the council concludes that Bombadil cannot be the solution. Power, without the intention to wield it toward a purpose, changes nothing. It is not enough to be incorruptible. One must also be willing to act. Here Tolkien contrasts different philosophies of strength. In Harry Potter, the core of magic lies in intent. A spell is shaped by will and moral choice. A curse cast half-heartedly falters, while love-infused sacrifice can shatter dark enchantments. In Middle-earth, the same principle holds true. Strength without direction fades. Tom Bombadil's indifference, however beautiful, makes him unsuited to the fight against Sauron. In the end, the Council's refusal is less a rejection of Bombadil himself, and more an acknowledgment of what the War of the Ring truly requires, not just power, but purpose. Tom Bombadil has echoes in mythic archetypes across cultures. The Green Man embodies nature's renewal, ever returning and beyond human control. Pan, playful and musical, channels the joy and fear of untamed wilderness. Sylvanus, Roman guardian of forests, kept harmony at boundaries. Like them, Bombadil's power is not domination, but coexistence. In Tolkien's world, the closest kin is Radagast the Brown, though Radagast still carries a Maia's duty, while Bombadil is utterly free. In Harry Potter, the Forbidden Forest reflects similar ancient sentient magic. Wild, enduring, and beyond mastery, Bombadil's mythic role is this: a reminder that some powers sing not to rule, but simply to be. What binds these figures together is their otherness. They are not heroes or villains, but presences, guardians of the untamed. Their very refusal to engage in conquest gives them a mysterious depth. Bombadil stands in this tradition, a living paradox, seemingly irrelevant to the grand struggle, yet essential as a symbol of what endures beyond it. Songs in Tolkien are not mere decoration. They are power woven into sound. Bombadil's rhymes are playful on the surface, yet they summon the earth, calm the waters, and bend the will of creatures with effortless grace. His language reveals an ancient truth. Words are spells, and rhythm is enchantment. This reflects older traditions where song and poetry were sacred, where logos, the spoken word, was itself a form of magic that shaped reality. In Harry Potter, spells are activated through incantations, the right syllables channeling intention into force. In Tolkien, however, music is deeper. It is the very foundation of creation. The world itself was sung into being by the Ainur, and Bombadil's verse feels like an echo of that first music. His poetry is not imitation, but participation in that cosmic harmony. Each rhyme Tom sings is a thread in the tapestry of Arda, binding his joy with the living world around him. He doesn't command in the way wizards do. He resonates. His magic is less about control and more about communion, aligning his will with the melody of nature itself. Unlike dark magic, which seeks to dominate and twist, Bombadil's song restores balance. This makes him unique, a magician of innocence. He does not manipulate language for gain or defense, but simply to affirm life, to celebrate being. His songs are a shield and a gift, reminding us that not all power comes through struggle. Some comes through joy, laughter, and the timeless music of existence itself. Tolkien deliberately left Bombadil unexplained. In his letters, he admitted that not every figure was meant to be rationalized, insisting that some mysteries served the story best when left untouched. Bombadil is one of these mysteries, a narrative pause, a reminder that the world is not wholly reducible to politics, battles, or even prophecy. He embodies the wonder and wildness that persist even when the shadow of war looms. This is not a gap in the legendarium, but a deliberate feature. Bombadil resists categorization, not Maia, not elf, not mortal, because his purpose is to defy explanation. He is the presence of the ineffable, a living reminder that the world is older, deeper, and stranger than the great conflict at its center. Across fantasy, we see echoes of this same narrative principle. The Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, even the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter are not merely plot devices, but symbols, moments where mystery itself becomes essential. Their significance lies less in mechanics than in meaning. In the same way, Bombadil is not meant to advance the war against Sauron, but to enrich the tapestry of Middle-earth with a touch of the unmeasurable. Ultimately, Tolkien's inclusion of Tom is an act of resistance against over-explaining. He reminds us that not all power is quantifiable, not all characters need resolution, and not all magic has a purpose we can chart. Bombadil exists to keep alive a sense of wonder, to remind us of the uncontainable, unmeasurable, and ultimately joyful aspects of creation itself. Do you believe Bombadil is a Maia, a Vala, the spirit of Arda itself, or something beyond even Tolkien's creation? Share your theories in the comments. Some of the most imaginative ideas might just outshine his songs. Tom Bombadil remains one of the greatest enigmas in fantasy. He is the laughter in the trees, the song of the rivers, the guardian of a world beyond ambition. In Tolkien, he is a pause, a reminder that not all power is meant to dominate. Across myth, folklore, and fantasy, he reminds us that freedom, joy, and harmony can be as potent as swords, spells, or crowns. As we leave the old forest, we carry with us the lesson of Bombadil, that sometimes the greatest magic is not in conquering, but in simply being, singing, and letting the world thrive around us.